Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Tech Talk. This is Chris Mizo here, and we're just about to start up. Woo! It's only just started this week, and we're already hearing the 60. It's not specifically user-based, but I don't know if everybody heard out there. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to this live. I'm Chris Mizo. I usually talk about PC and tech. So if you're coming into this live, and if you're curious what this channel is about, that's exactly what we talk about, PC and tech. Now, I'm going to throw in my Discord if you are also interested in joining, as we do have some very interesting news about NVIDIA's RTX 5060. If you're thinking about even getting the RTX 5060 Ti, because now NVIDIA's pointing fingers, or is it just another manufacturer that's going to point fingers at NVIDIA? What's going on currently if you do have the RTX 5060 or the 5060 Ti? We have the black screens once again. Yes, we have the black screens once again. For a minute, I thought my mic was off, but we have the black screens again. So it's not necessarily really driver related, and it's not really being known exactly what the problem is. But NVIDIA is pushing out a new firmware, if you do have the 5060, that it should fix the issue. So it's not only black screen issues, there's also another issue that you could possibly have, which is random reboots or hard freezes, and it's all due to the BIOS. It's not linked to any specific manufacturer. They did not say if it was from any specific brands such as, say, MSI, Gigabyte, ASUS, or any of those brands, but they say if you do have your BIOS set into legacy mode or into more like a classic menu of the BIOS, that could possibly trigger the RTX freezing up, the RTX 5060 in specifics. What's up, Stephanie? Welcome. And I gotta say, it's really sad that this problem is still occurring with the black screen and the random hard freezes, because we're almost into June already and we're still running into these type of issues. And NVIDIA's not saying if it's going to be either the manufacturer's fault or NVIDIA's fault. So if there is a problem, or if you end up having a big issue with your card, there's really no way to know exactly what to do with the card except to send it into NVIDIA. More than likely, they're going to be the ones that take care of it. But if it's from AIB, they'll probably tell you to send it into there. But fortunately, no users have reported it themselves. NVIDIA did end up finding this issue after launching the RTX 5060. So it almost makes you question, did they already have prior notice? Yes, I have been working out a whole lot. I'm actually on a break this week from working out, because I've been actually working for 10 weeks straight. Usually, like when it comes to the winter time, I'll end up going into like a straight up cut. So now we're already into spring, and now I'm gonna take a full week off of working out. And now I can finally just kind of let my muscles recuperate, so that way I can get back into working out once more, because it got to the point where now it's starting to cramp up and I'm starting to really feel it. But thanks, Sanchez. Glad you mentioned it. But I do got to say, it's kind of sad with this whole NVIDIA situation, because now for those people who did purchase the RTX 5060, did NVIDIA have prior knowledge of this issue prior to selling these RTX 5060s or these 5060 Ti's? Because now, for those people who did purchase them, they kind of got duped out. And now that they could run into this type of issue, now you got to worry if this can actually happen to your RTX 5060 or 5060 Ti. And another thing I got to say that was very interesting that was brought up was a question that was posed to Frank by by AMD, and the question was pertaining about the VRAM allocation when it comes to getting a GPU. So from speaking from a RX 9060 or RX 9060 XT, they have the 8GB version and the 16GB version. And the question was posed, is it really sufficient enough that 8GB is good enough for everybody to really have? And what Frank responded, which I'll show you the tweet. Let me actually pull up the tweet itself. And not sure if you actually heard it or read it in the news, but I had to respond to it because it's kind of ridiculous. And of course, Twitter's having issues, or X is having issues this week because one of their servers ended up having these issues. So now it's acting really crazy. And I will bring it right over. What's up, Lila? Welcome. Welcome in. Glad you joined us. Hopefully I'm saying it right, Lila. And I'm just pulling in over to this tweet now. And of course, X is acting up. Hopefully I can get it to load. There we go. Okay, perfect. So this is the tweet here by Frank Azor. If you're unfamiliar with who he is, I'll show you exactly what he is about here. And he is the consumer and gaming marketing side. Now, he does have posts and everything, but of course X is acting up. Hopefully it doesn't act up as soon as I read this whole tweet. But he's the leader of when it comes to consumer and gaming marketing of AMD. So usually he's the guy that deals with marketing and overall. He hears what everybody has to say when it comes to AMD. He listens to the gamers. He listens to the content creators. He listens to everybody who is interested in anything that has to do with AMD, not just GPU side, but also CPUs and everything else that it comes with. So from what he was saying here was the majority of gamers are still at playing at 1080p and have no use for more than 8GB of memory, most played with mostly esport games. We wouldn't build it if there wasn't a market for it. 8GB isn't right for you, then there's 16GB. Same GPU, no compromise, just memory options. So I had to mention this, which was I'd agree with you to a point. If games were well optimized, especially in 2025, yes, it would be only required to have less than 8GB. The reality is that many AAA games are not optimized well enough to easily running into capping out of VRAM. So the problem is, here's also another issue too that many people do mention is 8GB is not really enough, especially today. Now, some may argue when it comes to the whole allocation, when it comes to your GPU, is that it's because of these newer textures when it comes to GPUs. Now, that's not always the case, which I want to explain to everybody out there. It's not always the case when it comes to textures. It's not always the case when it comes to, say, like a really open world when you're gaming. There are other things that come into play besides that. You also have ray tracing, which is practically forced, or like the lazy part of the development side, where you have these game studios where they try to develop these games, but they don't want to really deal with a lot of the reflections, or they don't want to deal with any of the extra work when it comes to the detail side. Now, for example, we'll just bring up Doom, actually, the Dark Ages, right? What's up, boss man? Feel free to ask. I'll get back to what I'm saying, but go ahead, boss man. Feel free to ask anything you would like. and I will answer. But as soon as I get your question, I'll just continue on just a bit. But when it comes to the development side, when it comes to the studios, they don't really want to put the effort into the work when it comes to reflections, or when it comes to any type of details when it comes to the game. Just like Doom: The Dark Ages, it's forced ray tracing. Why? Because they didn't really put the effort in to put the details in the game. So that's why they have to ray trace so the game looks better. A lot of people said Doom: The Dark Ages looks very similar to Doom Eternal. And many of you, I'm sure, agree to that as well. So Sanchez says, most PC players are on 1440p unless use a 4K monitor. I completely agree. Most people do use 1440p. You have people that use 2560 by 1440. You have people that use ultra wides, just like I do. I use a resolution 3440 by 1440. But his argument is that most people game on 1080p. That should not be the excuse for game developers, firstly, to not optimize their games well enough. Secondly, that 8 gigabytes shouldn't be the standard anymore, especially now. The new standard should be at least double digits, at least 10 to 12 gigabytes. So Bossman Lack says, this is my post, if you can take a peek. Sure. Which post? I'm sorry, I can't, because I only see the chat. I can't, I'm not sure which post you're talking about. Are you also on X with your post? I could take a look and try to find you for it. But Sanchez says, thinks majority of console players use a 4K TV. I use LG OLED TV connected to my PC. You know what's funny, Sanchez? I was actually just speaking to somebody about this too. Most people do have a OLED TV that uses it for gaming. In fact, they know that a lot of gamers out there, a lot of PC gamers do use their TVs for gaming. That's why Samsung said, you know what? We're going to also throw G-Sync. We're also going to throw that into our OLED TVs as well. Of course, LG came out with it first, originally with the LG OLED when it came with the C1. And then from every variation after that, up to C4, I believe that they're at now, it just continually gets better. Reddit, I'll post a link. Sure. Yeah, feel free. Post the link and I'll open it up. How's that sound? So, but that is the issue. A lot of people do also game on 4K and not only the 1080p side. I think they get a lot of their statistics. Now, they probably go on Steam because the majority of PC gamers are also on Steam. But again, it's not always accurate. And when it comes to something like this, they should hear out a lot of the majority when it comes to PC players. Because most of them, and I know all of you can mostly agree to this, is that 8 gigabytes should no longer be the standard anymore. It should be pushed up at least to 10 to 12 gigabytes of VRAM at the minimum. 8 gigabytes is not going to really do much, especially nowadays. Sure, you can make this work, but the studios will never. And this is the problem. Studios are not going to improve when it comes to their game making process. It just continues getting more sloppy, and it really pisses me off. And I'm sure it pisses everybody off too, because the fact that Doom: The Dark Slayer, I mean, not Dark Slayer, but Doom: The Dark Ages, the problem with that is, again, forced ray tracing. It's going to take up more VRAM because of it. That's the biggest issue. Sure, the textures could improve, but it's not going to improve that much, especially when it comes to, say, a 1080p display. Everyone's going to eventually upgrade. It's going to get to the point where people will get a new monitor or hook it up to their TV where it is compatible, where it's either 1440, just like how Sanchez is saying, and the same thing when it comes to 4K. So, what's up? I can't read your name, whatever the poof is in TikTok. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate it if that's so. I can't see the notification, but I do appreciate that if that's the case. Sanchez says, AMD should have made a 10 gigabyte card to compete with NVIDIA's 8 gigabyte card. Absolutely. they should have came out with 10 gigabytes. And the funny thing is, their memory is going to be a lot cheaper. They have G6 versus G7. Now, arguably, NVIDIA's GPUs are a little bit more expensive because of their G7. They use a faster type of memory process compared to AMD. G6 is really not as expensive, especially it's not even G6X, which is like the reiteration of G6, which NVIDIA used prior when it came to their 40 series, especially when it came to the RTX 4090s or RTX 4080s supers. But I do agree that AMD should have improved in that side. So everybody that's just coming in or has a RTX 5060, I just want to warn everybody that make sure to update the firmware immediately. Find out whichever manufacturer that you have, whether it's ASUS or whether if it's Gigabyte or MSI, just go to that manufacturer's website and you want to go over to check out the drivers for your card. Not drivers, I mean, but the actual firmware for the card. And it has to be updated. Otherwise, you could run into problems where it can lock up and freeze, where it can go into these issues where you're unable to reboot, or you're unable to actually hard freeze, or it can even end up having the black screen to where you're unable to start your PC because of it. So just be wary for that. So if you do have the new RTX 5060 or 5060 Ti, please make sure to update the firmware. Otherwise, you can run into these issues. Luckily, nobody has run into these problems just yet. NVIDIA had these findings. And again, I question that because I feel that more of these, regardless whether if it's brand or game studio, they are just putting out whatever they can to put out to make that initial capital quick as possible, and then say, oh yeah, by the way, we have this firmware needs to be up to date, or by the way, I know the game's not that great, so we're going to give you a 100 gigabyte patch on day one. So let's see, AMD should see if that one works. I'm posting. No, I am not getting the link. Let me try going to let me check it out real quick. I'm going to try going onto the actual YouTube chat side and see if I can find it. And I will let you know if I can get to that link. I will open it up and I will definitely see if I can access it. Or you know what? Also, feel free. Here you go, boss man. Feel free to contact my Discord as well. Now this is the FanBam server. We talk about PC and tech there. Feel free to post up your link if I'm unable to access it through here, and that won't be an issue. Or you can just follow me on X and just tweet it over to me if I cannot access it. So I'm going to, right now, I'm just going to the live side of YouTube and seeing if I can access it. Are you watching via through the vertical format, or are you on the standard format? Yeah. Okay. Send it to me through Discord. I sent the link. Just go to Discord, follow my server there, and then I can be able to access it with no issue. I'll just make sure to have my Discord open. Again, if anybody has any questions at all, feel free to ask. Now, if you are building a PC or if you are trying to upgrade any components, also feel free to ask, and I will be able to answer it the best way I can possible. But there is good news from the Intel side. Intel is still planning to release their B770, which is going to be their new graphics card. It was rumored that they are coming out with something to be very competitive with, and it seems like that the demand is there. So the B770 will eventually be released. Now, it's part of the Battlemage series. Everybody loves the Battlemage series because of just how it could bring up more competition, and especially for the value of it as well. Okay, I gotcha. Let me see. I am accessing it now. All right, go ahead. I gotcha. I just accepted it. And you can send it through there. Okay, so, oh, well, you're part of PCMR, awesome. Are the pins inside the C19 power cable bent, or is this normal? Happened to pick up a cable. Okay, let me just share this real quick, just in case if anybody runs into this issue as well. Let me just switch over. There we go. So this is it, his problem. Now I happened to pick up this cable and it moved upon move it came with my ASRock Taichi TC 1300T 1300 watt 18 plus titanium, cybernetics titanium, and kind of freaked out and not used to see anything else in it in the cables. It is sort of a little bit bent up here. You can see little bends, but again, I would just push this one up right here. Hopefully you can see it. Just push this one up here, push this one down, just straighten it out. And then once you connect it, you should be able to have, you won't really have any issues. But just make sure that the contacts are clear enough to where when you're touching that it won't give you, it won't end up bending the prong anymore. So just make sure to push this pin up. Same thing with this. Just push it down and you shouldn't have an issue. But normally it shouldn't be like that. That's kind of rough. Or you have the second option. You can always send it out. Just get a new cable. You can always buy a new cable. That's a third option. But I mean, honestly, you should be okay. Just make sure to straighten these out. Otherwise, you can end up not really getting a good contact. And if you don't get good contact, that won't be good. You don't want to end up like shorting your power supply. That's what essentially would happen. So just push these prongs apart and then you should be okay for the most part. Because it's funny. And again, this is the slop that I'm talking about when it comes to manufacturers. It's good that he paid attention and saw something like this. This should not be normal. And I just don't understand how this is happening more and more often, especially because now it just seems like a lot of these manufacturers are just trying to just get the quick sale, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's but you more than likely you'll be okay. No worries. Just push them apart and you'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. I would be saying the same thing. I'd be like, WTF? Like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I? This is brand new. I shouldn't be doing this. It looks like a used product at that point, right? Especially if you were trying to sell it as a third party. Now, if you were the actual retailer trying to sell it, how do you explain that? Also, if anybody's also into any pre-built PCs or wants a PC built, feel free to access my website. My website here, which is chrismuso.com. And feel free to let me know that you are purchasing a PC. Let me know you are in the live, and I will do my best to give you a good discount. I ship within the US. Maybe I'll put ship out to, say, Canada, maybe Mexico, but anything outside of that, I feel it's a bit too risky. Again, for a full PC, I do free shipping and everything as well. Also, the other deals that I did want to mention, if you are looking to purchase anything PC-wise, Amazon does have some great deals. Newegg does too. I did post up my favorite deal, which is the Intel 265K, which you can get RAM or you can get an SSD with it. You get 2 games, Civilization 7 and Dying Light with it, all for $265. I think it's $265, $200 or $69 now. $269 for this processor. You either get a choice of SSD. Now, if you do get the RAM, it's a little bit more. It goes into, I think, a little bit over $300, like $305 if you do choose to get the RAM. And it also comes with Civilization 7 and Dying Light. And Amazon also has some really great deals. I do have a video based on all the different deals that they have, where I have a whole list, whole selection. If you don't feel like watching the whole video, that's perfectly fine. I get it. You want to just get to the point and get to the deal. I do have everything in the description box of that new video that I recently posted, probably just about a day ago or so. So make sure to check that out. If you haven't seen it already, make sure you do, because there are some great deals this Memorial Day coming up. Also, I will be streaming a little bit later today as well, which will be based on, I'm going to be playing Doom Dark Ages and Monster Hunters Wilds. We're going to be running it on the 9070 XT. We will also be running it on the RTX 5090 as well. So, Bossman Lack says, I just bought the Gigabyte Gaming GeForce RTX 5090. Oh, congratulations. Let's hope no leaking, huh? Putting it in my height Y70. Awesome. That's a great case, in fact. That was one of the cases that I was thinking of using for this upcoming build, but that's an awesome build. I'm very excited for you. What else specs do you have, by the way? I gotta ask, because I love seeing everybody's specs and hearing what they're building, because it seems like this day and age, everybody is it's very hard for people to build PCs at this time, it seems, especially for like how high the pricing is. Now, it always makes me curious about what people's thoughts are, but again, like as I was telling everybody from before, that you still can build a PC for well under 2,000. It's still very possible, and it could still be a high-end PC. In fact, the RX 9070 XT build, we built that PC for a awesome deal. It only ended up coming out to like 1,800, which is still well under what a RTX 5090 costs. So if you are looking to build a PC, it still is very possible nowadays. Now, of course, it depends on the different specific parts that you do get for it. AMD also has some great deals when it comes to the processor side, specifically when it comes to their 9950X or their 99 or 9700X, 9600X. None of the 3D variants, but those specific models, anything that is within the 7000 or 9000 series, that's an X. They are all on sale. They are pretty discounted. In fact, I think for the 9950X, it was like around $420 or $30 for that processor, and that's like a high-end processor for those who want to create a PC or build a PC that is, or even upgrade your motherboard. If you not upgrade your motherboard, but upgrade your CPU. If you wanted to use it for just gaming and content creation, that would be a great processor to use. Of course, the 3D variant would be better for those who are more onto the gaming side than the actual creation side. But the 9950X for $430 is really a great deal, I have to say. So, thoughts on the thermal leaks Ryzen 9 9950X3D, 64 gigabytes, RAM, 6,000 megatransfers, second, 2 terabytes. That's a really great build there. I'm assuming the 64 gigabytes is it. I'm assuming either 6,000 megahertz or also a good one to use is 6,000 megatransfers, and then also another good one, 6,400 megatransfers is also well. 2 terabytes Western Digital Black SN850X 2 terabytes. Yeah, that's quite the build. ASRock Tai Chi. I'm just a little nervous about that. Just the Tai Chi board, because of the recent discussions. I'm sure you heard about it, especially since you're part of PCMR. I'm sure you heard people speak about ASRock and currently what's going on with the 7000 and 9000 series. That some people have experienced shorting with the processor, but it's not so much the 9950X. Or X3D from what I've heard. It's mostly the 9800 X3D. For some reason, it doesn't play nice on ASRock's motherboards. And, I apologize. I'm thinking, okay, the TC1300. AORUS Elite. Oh, I'm sorry. I just read the last part. That's gigabytes. Okay. I gotcha. No, that's a great motherboard, in fact. I do love Gigabyte's motherboards. And they have a great quality when it comes to their PCBs and their power stages. They have awesome passive cooling on those boards as well. And I really like, which you'll really like too, boss man, is the quick releases on the Gigabyte boards are really great. It's now, instead of having like like either a latch, it's just like a square button that's on there. But boss man, that's an awesome build. I'm excited for you. That is going to be good. When do you plan on building it? I gotta say, that's now when it also comes to going back into the subject real quick. Here goes another one I gotta share with you guys here, and this is based on Maxon. This is on video cards, and Maxon shows off a concept GPU design, which is pretty dope, with no visible fans. Imagine that GPU. That's pretty dope looking, right? So if that's an Intel GPU, would you be interested in purchasing? It's just like an OLED screen, but it keeps passively cooled. Oh, it's not OLED. It's just like a regular LCD screen. Okay, but it's made by Maxon. But look at that concept. That is really nice. I'm having issues with them in the search. If I use the search bar in BIOS, it can freeze. The BIOS seems to be a bug. Have you tried upgrading your BIOS? Because if there's a BIOS bug, if it seems like it could possibly be that. If anything, that's kind of that can be a little bit scary, especially if your BIOS is freezing up. You don't know if it's going to freeze up during like an update or something. So, especially when it's something like this, what I would highly suggest to do is use like the BIOS flashback, which is you put it into the USB drive. Just make sure it's in FAT32 format. And then, okay, so you are on the latest. I'm curious what that could be. Have you updated the processor as well? The chipset on your motherboard, just to make sure. I'm curious, or if it's just a common bug. That's something I would definitely take a look into for sure. But how is it once you go through the system? Like, is it okay? Like, once you go into the Windows OS, out of curiosity. But I gotta say, this is a beautiful GPU. But again, it's still under development. But can you imagine if Intel came out with something like this? This would attract so many people. And this would make you feel like this is a GPU that I would want in my system, right? Having something like this? Or do you feel like it's too much in your opinion? That's my question there. Do you feel like it's too much, or do you feel like this is something you would get? But Intel is coming out with their B770 eventually, whenever that is. AMD is currently, of course, has the 9060 that will be coming out very soon on June 5th. It'll be the 9060 and the 9060 XT. So the rest is fine. Just using the search bar future, after like 5 searches, it freezes. I saw people online. Okay. So I'm glad to hear that you're not the only one. But of course, I'm not happy that you have to go through this. It's a bit unfortunate. That pretty much sucks. Hopefully this issue does end up getting resolved. This is something Gigabyte certainly has to address. I will definitely let Gigabyte know for sure. I will send them a message and see if they respond. If I hear anything, I will certainly let you know, boss man. But I will definitely, let me just actually copy this, just so so that way I don't forget about it. But I will certainly reach out to them. Let's see. Right here. Sure, no problem. I will certainly let you know. And hopefully you join part of the FanBam Discord as well. I know you sent me the friend request, but just make sure to also join the FanBam server. I would highly appreciate it as well. If anybody's just joining in, right now we're just discussing about there's also an issue with the Gigabyte BIOS. There's been freezing on the X870 and on the X870E specifically. And it seems to be more of a Gigabyte issue. So it could be that it needs another type of update, which hopefully they are aware of already. But I will certainly go out and reach out to Gigabyte and let them know what's going on. And hopefully I get a response sooner than later. And when I do, I will make sure to update everybody. Currently, I am also making another video. It's going to be based on the ASUS ROG Ally this time. And in fact, it's going to be quite exciting. I can't wait to share this with everybody, whoever has a ASUS ROG Ally, because in this video, it's going to be updating the OS. Now, you do have that option, whether you have the ASUS ROG Ally or the ROG Ally X, or maybe you don't even have a ROG Ally. Maybe you have a Lenovo Go, but it can be done as well on the Lenovo Go or the Lenovo Legion. And that will certainly improve not just the gameplay side of it, which is we're going to attempt to put Steam OS on it, which is now more universal. You can put it in any type of handheld. Except, now don't try it with the MSI Claw that has the Intel processor, because that is the exception. You have to have a AMD chipset in order for this to work. So you have to have the AMD Z1 or the AMD Z2 in order for this to work. So make sure if you do have a portable PC handheld, make sure that it is either one of those APUs. Otherwise, you could run into issues where it won't install. And more than likely, it won't even let you. It probably won't even let you go past a certain stage when it comes to the whole Steam OS installation. But that is currently being done, and really excited to share that with you guys. You will also experience, again, better frames when it comes to gaming. Now, there may be other issues that I'm curious about from what I'm hearing, is that there might be a battery drain issues because, again, it's new and it's not, and it's more sent out universally. So you could experience a bit more battery drain, but you do get a better gaming experience. So it's completely up to everybody out there who does have a handheld to go to it. If you do plan it and if you do want to try it, please make sure to back up your OS. Make sure to back up your Windows, just in case if you do want to revert back from Steam OS over back to Windows. Don't just rely on ASUS's MyCloud, or don't just rely on Lenovo's cloud as well. When it comes to it's backing up your OS, you want to also back it up into your storage drive, your SSD, so that way you're able to transfer just in case if there's any issues or discrepancies between the whole backing up your OS and restoring it, if worst case. But the good thing is that you will experience much better frames and you'll be on a much more fluid system, which is nice and accessible, especially that it is more of a PC gaming handheld than you using it for any type of applications. But if you do use it for any type of applications, then you might want to think about it. You'll be limited on certain aspects of it because Steam OS is practically Linux. So if you do choose to go to it, feel free to check out the video once it's posted up, which will be soon. Now, again, so Thermalright also has this pretty nifty idea, which is this AMD mini PC. It comes with screens and a liquid cooling. That's pretty amazing looking. And the best part is it has a built-in AIO liquid cooler. So it is fully black themed. They have this one. And they also have either the AI Max 395 or the HX 370. So you could literally have a mini PC. It looks like Hardware Canucks has a video based on it. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in something that is more compact on a PC build. Or not a PC build, but anything that is more compact if you don't have the space. Now, this is pretty useful, especially if you're going to be using it for something like if you're in a smaller space. Just like the studio that I'm in right now, it's a very tight space. So if you're in a tighter space and you need the extra headroom or any extra room, these mini PCs are great to go. Another thing that I really personally like a lot that Intel was really heavily involved with was the NUCs. Like when they had the ROG NUCs, those are really nice. They are also systems where you can certainly take advantage of having a mini desktop, but in a much smaller space. Also, there's a case that I also really like from Fracture Design where you can actually put a full length GPU. So you could put, like, say, a RTX 5090 if you wanted to, and you could put it inside of this case. But the case is literally very small, and which I will show you. It's actually a very awesome looking case here, and I really like Fracture Design. Can't even speak right. Fractal Designs cases here, which is, I'll pull it up right here. And I think it is the Terra. Yeah, that's it. So the Terra, just like this, it's very short, right? Very short and very tight spaces. And you could actually put a full-length GPU in here. And they also have another case where it's something similar to this. Let me show you what they do here exactly. Because you're going to use a riser in order to connect it. And let me see if they should have a picture of it. But there is a riser you can connect to it. I know there's another one here too. Was it not the mood? Was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was this one here, the ridge. This one's really interesting. Now, if you take a look at the ridge here, this one is the one where you actually use a riser here. Looks like almost like a 360, right? Like back in the day, 360. But just has like more like a mesh filter, fans, where you sit the GPU. You can. You have the flexibility to swap it out in that way. But it is a really nifty design, I gotta say, which I really like a lot. Oh, and I should have moved this slightly. There you go. But it looks just like this for those who just didn't see it. Not bad, right? So this is a pretty innovative design. I really like Corsair's newer cases that they showed in CES. It doesn't look as boxy when it comes to their glass cases. It almost has like that more of a round shape to it. So, but those are also nice as well. What's also really exciting is the displays that will be coming out soon. Now you do have ASUS that has their True Blacks, which is going to be amazing, and it's going to be a OLED display, and again, it's going to be glossy too, which is going to be nice because you're going to see every detail when it comes to OLED, and it's going to have a much more higher resolution. It feels like it's going to, at least, not really feels like, but the clarity is going to be much better on a glossy display compared to something that is like a matte or a semi-matte display. And also, it's able to absorb light a lot better compared to a lot of other glossy displays, which is going to be also something to check out for sure. Gigabyte also has their version where they're more focused. Same thing with MSI, where it's more focused on the QOLED, where it's going to be a much better resolution. But again, it's going to be very tough to compete to what ASUS's display is going to come out with. And I wonder if LG, and I know everybody hopes this for LG, that they come out with their own version where it's like a glossy display, because they do an excellent job when it comes to their OLED displays or their OLED TVs for anyone that does have one. Again, the only thing that the issue that I have with LG's displays is the reflection issue. If you have a display that is pointed in, say, the direction of a window, or if it's in the direction of a light, it can reflect off of that pretty badly. So hopefully that is an issue that can be taken care of when it comes to their newer generations of displays, which would also be really good as well. So for if anyone that's just joining in and just curious what I'm talking about now, I was just speaking on displays. What's up, Alexander? I was just speaking about displays. I was just speaking also about behalf of cases that they are releasing these new GPUs that look pretty dope. Maxon is coming out with where it's passively cooled instead of using fans. The best part about that too is it won't really be noisy at all. In fact, it'll stay cool, but it just won't have any fans, so you won't really hear any fans kick on. It won't sound like a turbojet engine kicking on inside of your PC case. Also, for those who do, again, have the 5060, for those who are just coming in and curious what that whole topic was, or if you saw the thumbnail and just curious about it, if you do have the 5060, make sure to update your firmware. Yes, the card has just released. There's already news about this 5060 and the 5060 Ti. They can have these issues to where you can have hard freezes in the BIOS. You can also have issues when it comes to having the black screen if you do attempt to play any games, or even forced reboots when you are gaming. And the reason being is because for anyone that has a BIOS, most people have a UEFI BIOS that they're on, but if you do have it set to like a legacy BIOS, that could be the main concern when it comes to these RTX 5060 cards. So unfortunately, NVIDIA kind of let us know about this last minute. Luckily, nobody got affected by it, at least so far as we know, that nobody got affected by this issue when it comes to this whole forced reboots or hard freezing, or even not having a display left. Now, NVIDIA didn't say, I like cases without glasses. Yeah, I was just, that's the one I was just showing too. And another thing too is when it comes to the RTX 5060, or what NVIDIA is currently saying right now, is that there's nobody taking blame for it yet. So NVIDIA is not saying if it's their fault or if it's the fault of another manufacturer's. No names were thrown out there, no specific brands or anything. So it's hard to say exactly if it was a specific brand, but there's no news on that side of it. But it seems like it's a more general issue because they specifically stated it's for the RTX 5060s and the 5060 Ti's. If you do happen to have one, again, please make sure to update the firmware. Otherwise, you could run into these issues where you can have hard freezing, or you can have any forced reboots, or the BIOS won't end up really working correctly as it should. And that's if you switch it to its legacy BIOS compared to the UEFI BIOS. So make sure to do that. Now, in order to get to the firmware, it's not driver related, it's more firmware related. You're probably going to have to more than likely go to the manufacturer's website in order to update it. So whether you go to ASUS, whether you go to Gigabyte, MSI, any of those brands, make sure to check if there is a firmware available for it. Now, Ethan Believe in Yourself says, handsome young man, I'll keep playing my Star Wars games on Steam then. Yes, Steam is still, actually Steam has some great Memorial Day sales. In fact, I was just notified too by Plano, if anybody's familiar with Plano, that if you are interested in it, it's free on Steam. In fact, you can get Warhammer 40,000 and what was it? Warhammer 40,000. But it's one of the Warhammers. But you can get that for free as long as if you get it before the 26th of May. Make sure you go to Steam. You can download it. But I'm having a brain fart of which one exactly it is because there's so many of them too. It's not Space Marines. It's not. What is it? I would have to look it up real quick. Unfortunately, I'm not on the PC where I could check on Steam where it is located. But I do have to say that, again, if anybody out there has the RTX 5060, make sure to upgrade. My PC can't run anything. Oh, really? What happened to your PC now? Are you? I'm assuming you're on your phone now, because you're probably excited about your new iPhone 11 now, right, Alex? But going back to the topic, there was also a debate that we had with AMD. Again, they feel that the standard of 8 gigabytes, there is nothing wrong with it. Even though that there was originally a lot of criticism over it. Everybody voiced their opinion saying that 8 gigabytes is not nearly enough for most people. Especially when it comes to these studios, the way they optimize these games are not excellent. Some people are saying that no, it's not because the AAA studios are not optimizing it. We just need more VRAM, period. But the case is, you also have to blame the game studios for this as well, because they are not producing as they should. They're not really focused on putting out the details as well when it comes to the gaming side. It's not only, sure, you can blame the textures because that takes up more VRAM, right? Say they use high resolution textures. It's an open world game. That's great. But there's also the ray tracing side of it that is completely unnecessary when it comes to certain games. As I used Doom Dark Ages in an earlier example, that it can cause issues if it's forced ray tracing, and it's going to take up more VRAM. And that's the other problem with it. So if you have these studios developing these games and they're not using or not really putting in the details, just like we'll use GTA 6, for example. How they put GTA 6 puts all the details when it comes to the beer physics. Like when you're carrying the beer, they actually bump into each other. That's a really detailed a fact to put in there. Or when you're sitting the beer on a coffee table, there's actually carbonation inside of the beer, and you can actually see it in the game. A lot of these games won't do that because these AAA studios, what they do is they will try to force out a release date, and when they force this release date, that it's not going to have as the details that it should have. Instead, they will just let ray tracing do a lot or most of the majority of the work when it comes to their games, and then also takes up a ton of VRAM because of that as well. That's why a lot of games look better when you have ray tracing, because then you see all the reflections. But it can also be manually inputted into a game as well. Unfortunately, that a lot of studios don't want to put a lot of thought into that or a lot of their heart into that. But another thing I gotta bring up into topic for everybody out there, and I've gotta ask you, is that what are your thoughts when the Borderlands, when they mentioned this about it costing $80? Borderlands 4, when that releases, it's supposed to be September, because it was rumored that it was going to be released in October, but then they pushed it back in September because just in case if there was a GTA 6 release. But now they want to be able to sell this game for $80. What are your thoughts of that? Do you feel that price is okay for you when it comes to gaming? Even though if it's not a physical game, you can purchase the game online digitally and it will still cost you $80. That seems to be the new normal, right? Now, we're going to see that even with Call of Duty, they're saying it. With Black Ops 6, they said that for this year, they're going into Black Ops 7. They're not going into another Modern Warfare or a different reiteration of Call of Duty, but what they're going to do is that they're going to Black Ops 7. Now you have to purchase the game in full, $80, right? If you don't have Microsoft Game Pass. But if you do have Microsoft Game Pass, you get the game, right? But here's the thing. Even though you have the game, if you want to be able to continue playing the game, that you would have to, in order for you to go into the next level or to the next map or the newest maps that they throw in there for the next 3 or 4 weeks, to have you as a concurrent player, you have to purchase the DLC. If you do not purchase the DLC, you will not be able to play the maps. So it's almost like a rewind of back when it came to the Xbox 360 days, where you had Halo 3, where you had to purchase the DLC in order to play the maps. But the difference is the games were also a lot cheaper and they were way more complete. You didn't have all the patching that we currently have today. Now, imagine that they come out with this game, it's already broken for $80. You have, or say you did have Microsoft Game Pass and you had it for free, but now you have to purchase DLC for a game that was $80, and then now you had to pay another $10 to $15, just say, for this map pack, and then you have to hope the game's not broken on top of it. So where are they going with this exactly? So Alexander is saying RF 3400 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte Corsair Vengeance, RAM 256 gigabytes, M.2 NVMe, and ASUS ROG Strix RX 580, 8 gigabytes. It just can't run anything properly, even on low settings. Oh, wow. So which game is it that you're playing, Alex, that you're running into these issues? Now, maybe it has to do with the... so you have 16... is it optimized already? Do you have everything set in the BIOS as it should be? You should try setting it to... what's your mega transfers or megahertz on your RAM? Because then that can also be a key component to it. For something like the R5, you're going to want to put it on 3200 mega transfers at least, if you have that, and then 200, and the M.2 drive shouldn't really have any issues. And for the ASUS ROG Strix RX 580, it's a bit of an older GPU, so that can also be an issue. So again, depending on the type of game that you're playing, you might be limited because of just that. Now you can always upgrade the GPU, and then you can definitely get better frames. Now you don't have to upgrade to the 9070 if you wanted to. You can even upgrade to, say, like the 7800. That would even be good, or the 6800. But either one, you should definitely get better gameplay out of it, and then you should be good. It's really the GPU that's really holding you back out of anything. Then if you can, in the future, update your processor over, get a, say, 5800X3D, you could probably get that for a lot cheaper now. So that's what I would recommend for your build. So if anybody has any questions at all, feel free to ask. I can definitely help you out when it comes to your PC build, or if you're looking to upgrade. And also when it comes to, again, when it comes to the RTX 5060, everybody who has one, please update it, update your firmware. NVIDIA has mentioned that there is an issue going on. And also for anybody out there, AMD does in fact feel that 8 gigabytes of VRAM is sufficient enough for most people, because most people are gaming on 1080p displays. So let me know what your thoughts are of that, and feel free to put it in the comments in the chat, and just let me know what your thoughts are. So let's go back here, and I want to go to that X post to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hopefully X is up. It's been acting funky ever since that there has been issues with the server. One of these servers were having issues. One of their server rooms specifically were having issues. So hopefully it's not acting too crazy now. So let's go up to this post here. So this post originated from this, which is right up here. And for this post, there you go. So you guys can see it. So I can't read this in Spanish. And let's see. Let me, right here. I just saw it. It didn't translate very well. But he's saying because of 8 gigabytes of RAM, I think it says Speaking to David McAfee, AMD is because of 8 gigabytes. Is it justified in 2025? I think that's what he says. I'm not 100% fluent in Spanish, so please forgive me on that if I butchered what he said. So Fortnite, GTA 5, Rocket League, Valorant, Plus. Yeah, definitely upgrade your GPU, Alex, and you should be good. Yeah, get a new GPU. It will change your world, certainly. So, Frank Azor actually answered to this, and this is what I really wanted to bring up here because of what he said, and that the fact that he said majority of gamers are still playing at 1080p and have no use for more than 8 gigabytes of memory. Most played games worldwide are mostly esport games. We wouldn't build it if there was not a market for it. If 8 gigabytes isn't right for you, then there's 16 gigabytes. Same GPU, no compromise, just memory. So he practically said the first sentence here, majority of gamers. So most of the gamers around the world are still using 1080p displays. There's no need to go any higher than 1080p. That it should be plenty sufficient enough. 8 gigabytes is good enough for most people out there. So I had to mention, I'd agree with you to a point if games were well optimized, especially in 2025. Yes, it will require less than 8 gigabytes. The reality is that many AAA games are not optimized well enough, and it can easily run into capping out the VRAM. And again, it's because not only because of textures, not because of how large the game is, doesn't matter if it's open world or not, but it's the fact that these studios are really just pushing out the crap that they do, where you're with forced patches, forced ray tracing, and then of course you're going to run into issues, especially at 8 gigabytes. Again, it's not going to be enough, and then on top of it, these studios do not care to optimize a game. They'll just tell you to upgrade your PC. You have multiple studios that has mentioned this, where they said that there is issues, that if there's issues, you need to upgrade your PC. So what does that tell you exactly? That tells you the studios do not care if it doesn't run on your PC, but just to get some new hardware. This kind of brought me up to that whole topic and the whole theory of NVIDIA and these game studios. Maybe AMD, I don't know. But you let me know exactly what you think of this or how accurate this is. Let me just fix this real quick, guys, so that way you guys can see me better. But tell me what your thoughts of exactly when it comes to this is the fact that NVIDIA, say Jensen Huang, and these game studios, they all both meet each other. And after they meet each other, they come up with this plan. I know this is quite the conspiracy. It's a funny conspiracy, in fact. But these game studios and Jensen Huang both meet up, and they have this big meeting, and they say, most people do want to play older games. Hence why there's no PhysX anymore, or there's no DirectX 9 anymore. And it's ironic that it's games such as Oblivion, such as Fallout 3 that are being remade. Because there's also other titles that use DirectX 9 or PhysX, like Mirror's Edge, where they probably will get remade. But anyway, the point is, we'll throw all that technology out because it's a waste on our cards. It's a waste of our resources. It's no point of having something that is dated. So the game studios are like, okay, that sounds great, because now we can go ahead and remake a lot of these titles, and people can just purchase our games again since we're out of ideas. So not only does NVIDIA get the benefit of it, or AMD, now the game studios also reap the benefits because they also will get more people buying their newer games. It just makes sense, right? So Alexander says, it all runs bad. I'm broke. What should I get? My monitor is 165 hertz, 1080p IPS. I would say just, in fact, you could go with what Frank says. Just get a 9060 and you should be okay. Just see how well that runs. The RX 9060, you can purchase it for as low as $300. It's not released yet, but it's just it's going to be released within the next week, about June 5th. I don't think, is it next week already? No, within 2 weeks. So yeah, within about 2 weeks, yeah, there will be RX 9060. It's priced at $300. RX 9060 XT, where it does have 16 gigabytes, is at $350 USD. So more than likely, you could probably get your hands on the 9060. You'd be very happy with it, and hopefully everything is going well with your card detailing, and if it's going well, then you can definitely get it. That's a much more affordable option, I'd say. You could always go NVIDIA's RTX 5060 if you really wanted to, but again, there are issues with it currently, and it seems like these issues are nonstop. I haven't really got to mess with the new driver, which I definitely will do later today when we do enter and play some Doom Dark Ages, and we will play some. We will also play some Monster Hunter Wilds. Reflex 2. Yes, Jacob. Yeah, there is. Yeah, Reflex 2. That's another thing too. What can I get for 200 G? 200. I just saw that question too. Let me see. 250. I'd say just save a little bit more. Just save a little bit more, and then go ahead. And I would say just go with the RX 9060 if you're like in a hurry, or just save a little bit more money and go for the RX 9060 XT. Out of all the GPU manufacturers, I gotta say, AMD, between AMD and Nvidia this year, I gotta say AMD has done very, very well for 2025. So far, personally to me, the best GPU I gotta say of the year is the RX 9070 XT. The 4070, 5070 done. Yes. And again, that's another option there. You can go 40, but that's going to be at its price range, I feel. Unless you want to save up to that much. But the 4070 is definitely a great option if you can get it used. If you are looking to get it used, maybe that's the better option as well. Hopefully nobody's trying to rip you off over there, because you still have a lot of people that are still selling like RTX 4090s for a high price. You still have people still selling it for $1,600-$1,700, and the reason being is because again they know the RTX 5090 is already at the $2,800 range. So if you're in a place where you do have to pay some sort of sales tax, it's really $3,000 anyway. So, but wouldn't it get bottlenecked by my Ryzen 5 and 3400G? Then I mean, sure, it can get bottlenecked, but it won't be as bad as your current GPU. So I would highly suggest to upgrade. Can any CPU pair with AM4 or AM5? I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? They're two different sockets, Tejaz. So AM4 is going to be more of the Ryzen 3 and 3000 to 5000 AM4. Yeah, and AM4 is going to be the 7000 and 9000. Appreciate it, Semi. I appreciate the follow. Thank you for joining aboard the Fan Bam. Feel free to ask any questions. So go ahead, Taz. Are you looking for a specific build that you are planning? Thank you for joining, Semi. You have any questions? Feel free to ask as well. I will do my best to answer them as they come along. But if your question about AM5 and AM4, they're two different sockets, and they're even a lot different, because AM4 will actually the CPU will actually contain the pins, versus where in AM5 it's the exact opposite. It's similar to what Intel has, to where the pins are on the motherboard. So you'll know the difference, and you don't want to put AM4 into AM5 or vice versa. So $850, is that what you have that you're trying to purchase? Yeah. I'm assuming is $850 your full budget, or is it more of just the processor, or is it the processor and motherboard pairing that you're trying to pair together? I can certainly help with that side as well. So let me know what your thoughts is, Tahas. Let me know if that, I think, but if I'm guessing, you're probably talking about pairing the CPU and also pairing the motherboard. Am I right or am I wrong? Just feel free to let me know. Because full PC. Okay, full PC. That's going to be, okay, so let's go AM4 because that's going to be a lot cheaper. And let's go online together. We'll just create like this shopping list. How's that sound? And I'll go on Newegg. In fact, I could create this list for you and I can send it over. Some examples. Do you want me to show you several examples of it? All right, so let me see. Perfect. So we're gonna go onto Newegg and we'll figure out this build. And right there we go. Right there, we're on the website. If you have problems seeing anything, feel free to let me know. Luckily, everything is also on sale, especially because of this whole Memorial Day. So we're gonna go. Actually, let's just go straight to components here, and we're gonna go to the motherboard. Let's see if they have some combo packs first. So we're just gonna go to the desktop processor first. And we're going to scroll down. Now, again, since we're on a much tighter budget, here you go. Here goes the 7600X. You can get for $203, Ryzen 5. But again, that's AM5. So we're not going AM5. Let's go AM4. Let's see. AM4. We'll try to make it cheap as possible. 5950. Let's go lowest. Feel free if anyone wants to chime in as well. But let's see. Here goes used ones. You could go used, but I don't think you want to do that. Go that route. Let's see. Here goes first gen, 1700. Let me just type it in at this point. Let's go 50. Type it in, 5600X. Curious. So 5600X is about 159, and that's brand new. And this is a 6-core process. How about 3D? They gotta have this way cheaper now. Here goes a 57. We go 57. But that'd be a little bit high. So since we're trying to get only the 850 mark here, I'm probably just going to sell my PC and build a new one from scratch. That's also a good idea too, if you want to do something like that. All right, so we're just going to go 5600. I feel 265 is really high for your current budgets. Here you go, 110 bucks, 5600. So we'll throw that in. And then now let's see if we can get a decent motherboard here. Again, you don't have to have like the top end, 7500F. Yeah, I mean we could go 7500F. But the thing is he has such a tight budget with 850. I'm just curious. You know what? I'm curious about certain components here. Like DDR4, right? How much is DDR4 right now? It's practically the same price as DDR5. I mean, you could get this one here. It's only 16 gigabytes though. But it's good to get started with. 30 bucks. That's kind of hard to beat. And let's see. Let's go ahead and try to throw that in there, for example. We're gonna do another build too. We'll try with the AM5 next. How's that sound, real quick? So let me get rid of all this other stuff here. I'll just move. I'll put that there, save that for later. Oh, I'll just remove it. And remove this. Okay. So we got this, and we got the processor. So already it's only 140 bucks, right? Now we just got to get the motherboard. The motherboard should not be expensive for this. Let's see. Let's go to the motherboard side. AMD. AM4. And we're going to go for the lowest of the low. And we'll sort by lowest price. And we'll go by sold by Newegg. Okay, so MSI A520, AM4, A520. This can do. Micro ATX. But you probably want a full ATX board, I'm assuming. So let's go MSI Pro Max 2. That's only $80. Okay. So far, we have $220, right? Now, the only hardest part, I gotta say, for this build is going to be getting the GPU. But the GPU that we want to get's not going to be available just yet. All right, so we're going to go to, we already got the memory. We just got to get the NVMe. We'll get NVMe 3, PCIe 3. Oh, I already went through. You could get something 1 terabyte. I know you can get even cheaper for this. Let's see. And sold by Newegg. That's important. You don't want to get it from any other person besides Newegg, because they also have other retailers here. Here you go. Team Group 256, only $27. Here goes 128. No. See if you could get at least 1 terabyte. Let's see. This 512. All right, we'll just go 512 just in case. Yeah, we'll just go 512. If there's something better, I'll definitely go to it. So far, it's only $257, right? This build. And now all we have to do is you just need a PC case, and you're going to need a cooler. Well, this might actually come with a cooler, right? This one. Yeah, it comes with it. So you can just use the stock cooler for now. All right, and now you're going to need to get a decent power supply. And the power supply we'll get that there. Perfect. And we'll get lowest. Now, the thing is with power supplies, you have to be careful. You don't want to get one that's too cheap, because they're going to be the ones that are prone to burning out. Here goes a good deal. 600 watt and 12 volts. This is only, this is actually a decent one. Or we can get the 500 watt. No. Let's see if we can get an even better one here. I doubt we're going to find any ATX 3 for that cheap. So we'll go ahead. Well, here goes one that's ATX 3, but it's only 500 watts. But you don't, for this build, just for saving money's sake, we'll just get the thermal take. Again, it's only $41.99 for that. And now we just got to get a case. Let's just go here. You could actually get a pretty nice case if you wanted to, but again, it's very possible to still do a build just like this. And as you can see, it's not really much money at all. And I highly recommend We'll go lowest price. Since we're being on a tight budget here. And we'll go with pure performance. I'd say you want to put all your money into the GPU. That's the more important thing, for now, at least. If you want to get better performance, that's what I would focus on. And ATX mid-tower. And we'll make sure that it is sold by Newegg. What kind of case is this? This is just terrible. I really care about the airflow when it comes to this, because you need to have airflow. I gotcha. No problem. Here goes one. This one's not bad. This has decent airflow. But if you, I don't know if you want to have the glass on side of your case or not, but I'll just, oh, this one's back ordered anyway, so forget that one. We'll go ahead with, that's a good deal. But that's open box. Here goes fractional design case right here. Mid-tower. This is a good one. We'll just go ahead with this. Okay, so now we have the case, you have the motherboard, you have a power supply, you have a NVMe, you have RAM, you have the processor. So you have just about everything. All you need is the GPU. Again, it's currently priced at $364. So if you have a budget, I'm just gonna take out my calculator here real quick. Now, if you are on an 850, ooh, my fault, people. I used my numpad there. So if we used, so that'll give you the availability to spend up to $400. That'll give you a budget to spend at least $400 or $450 on a GPU. So even, it's probably sold out already. But just because the RX 9060 is not available, just say we go with a RTX 4670. Let's try. Hey, Ron, welcome in. And there we go. There you go. Here goes one of 4060, 8 gigabytes. This is just, again, an example. All right, let's just go here. 50. Okay, so you can tell me what your thoughts are of this. Yeah, I figure everything is mostly out of stock. Here goes 50, what? That doesn't make, there's a 5060 Ti that's 8 gigabytes. That makes no sense to me. Not at all. Here goes a 16 gigabyte version. Here we go. That's what we want. Yeah, freaking, that makes no sense to me. $500, what? Okay, so we'll just say we throw this in. I keep going into the sign-in. Okay, so this one's slightly over $874. So you have yourself a PC build. You got a PC case. You have the motherboard. Here, let me show you. There. You have your PC case, which is a fractional design case. You have your motherboard, which is the MSI B450M. You have a RTX 5060 Ti. And then you have the power supply, which is 600 watts. You also have your SSD, NVMe, you have your RAM, and you also have your cooler and your processor together in this. So total $874 for this. You could definitely go down. You could get it cheaper if you don't mind getting a 5060. That's only 8 gigabytes. Or you let me know, Tahas. And that's one build. And we can go ahead and attempt to do an AM5 version. AM5 will probably be a little bit more tough, I would think. But we can give it a shot right now. So let's go here. I'll make another one. Oh no, it just carries it over. I want to save this. So while I save this, let me go back here. So while I save this, I will, there we go. That'll work. And then we can continue on and try an AM5 version. Let's see. We'll call this AM4 build. And then we'll go right back into it again. Perfect. All right, so now we'll start again. Okay, so now we're going to attempt to do the same thing with AM5. So let's go ahead and go with the recommendation, the 7500F, which is a good choice. Right there. This is only 154, because now the new CPUs, they don't come with fans anymore, unfortunately. So they don't come with fans, so we have to get a fan, which isn't a big deal. We still can manage to get one. Let's see. So we'll throw that in processor. There is CPU fans where they're relatively cheap. Like Cooler Master makes some great ones. I'll show you the Cooler Master. What was it called? The Cooler Master. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Maybe I'll come up here. Nope. Can't think of the name. It'll pop up, I'm sure. There you go, the Hyper 212. Let's get all black. It's cheaper. It's only $29.99. So we'll throw that into the cart. Okay, so we got two items together. That's $185 so far. As you guys see, $185. Hopefully you guys saw that. $185 so far. So let's go back. And what we'll do next is get the motherboard. And we'll go here, AMD motherboards. And we'll go ahead, go AM5. And we're going to make sure it's from Newegg. We don't want any sketchy Alibaba motherboards. Open box looks like the best deal, to be honest. ASRock. Gigabyte 8620M. That's not bad. PCIe 4 though. If you're going AM5, I would say you want at least PCIe 5. Let me put that there. See how much more expensive it gets. 154. See if we can make it work. Okay, so we'll go with, okay, so this is going to be an ATX board. So it's going to be a smaller board. Now, let's go, we'll just go ASRock B850. I don't really trust ASRock, though. Tough choice here. Okay, we'll just go ASUS B650E. That's the better one. It's a little bit more, but we're going to see to make it work. This is how it looks like here. Right there, $169. See if we can make it work. All right. So you already have 3 components there. Now we're going to get the RAM. The NVMe, we're just going to get a cheap one because that doesn't matter. You can always upgrade later. So we'll probably end up getting the same SSD just in case. And then for the RAM, it's important that you have DDR5. Again, different memory set. Oop, I put DDR5. Okay, let's go back into it. Now we're going to go sold by Newegg, and we're going to get the lowest available. We just want the system to really run in the beginning. We would love to get a high-end RAM, but if it's not possible, that's okay. We're going to look at these two models, 16 and 32. Oh, no, this is not bad, actually. That's CL40, but does it really matter if you're on CL40? We'll try to push it and get... Here you go. Let's try the Kingston Fury. That's only one, though. T-Force. 75. Big jump, but that's definitely a really good deal. So we'll just try to get good RAM and see what happens. This is better RAM for sure. Also, you're also going to need your SSD. We're going to end up getting the same one. We'll go PCIe 3 512 gigabyte. We'll go with team groups. And so we got the RAM. So lastly, what we need is, well, two things. Power supply in the case. So let's get that Thermaltake power supply. Which will be here, $41.99. And then the case. We'll get actual design. Say we get the same case. Right here, $54.99. Okay, so that leaves you with just the GPU at that point. So this total build's $578, a little bit more. So that gives you a bit of a tighter budget when it comes to your GPU, unless we change up the RAM to kind of give you a little bit more room. And that would be, let's see. Oop, apologize for that once again. And that would be 270. Yeah, that's really tight. That only gives you a $272 budget for a GPU there. We can make a little bit more room. Okay, so what I will do is instead of getting the T-Force RAM, we're going to have to get something a little cheaper. Because we're just trying to get your build up and running. That's the most critical part. So we want to try to spend, we'll make sure it has AMD Expo. And we'll go for I think that's the cheapest I could find. $55.99, 5200 megahertz. Oop, we're not checking out. See, that gives you a little bit more room there. 559. $291. I would have to play with this just a little bit, but the minimal you can get is either a RTX 5060 or a RX 9060. Would be up to you. but you could get either or. So what is your thoughts of it? These two lists. Let me know what you think. You have a bigger budget, a slightly bigger budget if you go with AM5. I mean AM4. You'll be able to spend a little bit more on your GPU if that's what you prefer. Or do you prefer to be on a more modern system and you get you don't get as strong of a GPU for now, but you get a better GPU down the line? You let me know what you think, and I can send you the list of both of them. Let me know your thoughts, and I will certainly get back to that side. But that was pretty interesting, though. It certainly can be done still. You still can build a PC for like $850, and it would still quite be excellent for what you play it with. Now, Tahaz, do you have any specific games in mind, and what type of monitor do you have, by the way, too? Out of curiosity, if you have a monitor. I'm not sure if you already have a budget for one, or if you're thinking of getting a specific monitor, let me know. And I will definitely hear you out. But so far, on a AM4 build, you have a little bit more cap space in order for you to purchase a better GPU. And again, with AM5, you spend a little bit more, but you're in a more modern system, and then you can get a better GPU down the line. Also, if you are going with Thermaltake 600 watt power supply, it's a great power supply and everything. But it's also, if you do plan to get a better GPU down the line, make sure to upgrade it, your power supply as well, because you're going to need to. 600 watts is a good limit for a smaller card. These newer cards are a lot more power hungry than these older cards. So, I don't have a monitor. Oh, okay. Are you gonna I mean, you could always hook it up to your TV. I'm assuming you'll probably start off with your TV originally, which is okay. That's no problem. You can't run it in 4K though. I'll tell you that right now. Don't try to run in 4K resolution. Just run it at 1080p. You can upscale your TV, and then you can play more comfortably. But I would say, if you do plan to play on a TV, make sure it's not in 4K. Make sure it's in 1080p. Otherwise, you won't be able to run the games that you would like on it. Now, if you are planning to get a monitor, there's a lot of 1080p monitors you can actually get that are for a great deal currently. Let me show you actually. Budget can increase a bit. Okay. No problem. You let me know what your budget can do. And I don't know if you have a separate budget for your monitor. If you do, let me know. Because unless 850 is your total budget, that would be a little bit tough. Because I'm sure we can find a monitor for a great deal. Let me see. In fact, let's go take a look at one. Which is, we'll go into the Memorial Day sales and see what they have. 1080p or 1440p for the first. For the first, you shouldn't have a problem with 1440p. You'll be limited, but you will definitely be less bottlenecked if you went to AM5, I can say. AM5 would definitely be, in my opinion, I would say just go AM5. It's better to be in a newer generation. Because the thing with older hardware, eventually it's going to get to the point where it'll get more expensive to upgrade an older hardware compared to new hardware. Peripherals separate budget. Okay, that's a good thing to know. Very good thing to know. Let's see. Let's take a look at some monitors here, and I'm sure we'll find some good ones. And for the monitor side, let's go right here. Where's it at? Power projection monitors. There we go. Exactly what we're looking for. And we're going to go for the 1080p side. Now, these are all 4K monitors, so don't panic if you see this. It's going to be a bit high. So we'll go for lowest price. You don't want none of these ones here. That doesn't. You want to get something that is meant for gaming. And less than 2, that's what we're looking for, less than 2 milliseconds response time. And here goes, there's some good ones here. MSI is 250 hertz, full HD monitor, 25 inch, that's not a bad one. Also, here goes a good one, 27 inch, 180 hertz, only for 140. Now, if you're going for 1440, let's say, do you want to go ultra wide? I'm curious if they have anything for a good deal for ultra wide here. Let's try ultra wide, see what comes up. Okay, if you go ultra wide here goes one MSI's. This is a VA monitor now. The thing about VA monitors, they're good monitors to game on, but they got this like weird ghosting you might not like. So I wouldn't suggest VA. The better option would definitely be the Odyssey G5. You can pick that up for $350 if that's what you're looking for. So if you can spend a little bit more. But if you feel that's too high, let's go 1440, 2560. And you can definitely get one of these. This would definitely be better quality. And you can pick up, let's say this is VA, lots of VAs. IPS would be the better option to go. You got ASRock, you can go. This one's a good one. The Tough Gaming one. This one's a good one. 170 hertz, 1 millisecond, IPS display, also has HDR. If you want to, if you don't want to spend the money for a ultra wide, you spend about an extra $150 for it. And this is a really good monitor actually for the deal. Perfect. So yeah, just let me know, and I can definitely build up a list. I'll send it out to you. I think, are you on Discord already? If you're not, I'll send it over again over here. Feel free to join it. This is the Discord channel. If you're not part of it, and I can send you over the links. I'll just build the list. I'll save it for you, and then I'll send them right over to you. But you'll definitely have a beast of a gaming PC. What type of games are you into, by the way, out of curiosity? Because that also is a good... Oh, I figured that. I thought you were on Discord. I thought I remembered you. I remember you from the last stream, I think. But I'll send it over to you. You can message me. Feel free to message me. Or I could easily find you too. Either way. Let me see. Barcode. Okay. Barcode was just sending me the reported issue. I'll definitely send that over. And he has an issue with the Gigabyte boards. So I'll definitely look into that. There you go. Okay, perfect. And then Alex, he had a good question too. Let me go over here real quick. I'm going to go over to the Discord side, and then you can see what's going on that side. So Discord. Right now, Alex sent me this. And he's asking if this is a good deal here, which is a Ryzen 5600X. And also, for this case, it is a good deal. Questionable airflow in this case, though. I would say find a different case. Definitely find a different case. I don't like it's solid up here in the front. It might have airflow on the bottom of this case. You need to definitely see more details on it. Otherwise, you're not going to get good airflow. You want to have something in the front opened or have some sort of opening in the front so that way you can have better intake. Otherwise, you're going to get high heat, which is something you don't want. But yeah, that's the thing. Cases are one of those things where it gets way overlooked. But you play Elden Ring, GTA 5, Warzone, Valorant. Okay, yeah. So this type of build would actually do really well. In fact, let me just double check the Elden Ring specifications, but I'm sure it would do excellent in it, and we could take a look at that together. And that's always important. Know the type of games that you play, and that will give you the indications of what type of games that what type of specifications that you really need. So I'm on a website called Can You Run It? And on this site will give you the specifications of the type of what you would need minimally. Now, minimally, this is the minimal requirements. You can run it technically on an RX 580 with 4 gigabytes, dedicated VRAM of at least 3 gigabytes, and at least 60 gigabytes of free space. Now, the recommended is at least a 3600X. You need at least a 1070 and at least 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So that tells you right off the bat, right here, that this would definitely work with you very well. Especially if you go with AM5, that is certainly the way to go. And you can definitely run it much better again if you have a even bigger video card, but if you do spend a little bit more money on your budget, if you choose to go say RX 9060 XT or if you go with the RTX 5060 Ti, depending on what you want to spend, or even the RTX 5070, I would say 5070 would be the better option. You can definitely do well with this PC build for certain. But I gotta say, I'm very excited if you do end up doing this build. You gotta let me know how well it goes. And I certainly want to do another build very soon in this channel. Just have to wait for the budget, of course, to allocate. And we want to do Project Ninja, which is going to be a stealth build. No RGBs at all, just straight up, just like a traditional PC, no lights. I'm very tempted. Now, this is debatable. I'm very tempted to throw in an AIO with a screen or something in there. But would that take away from being Project Ninja? Would that take away from the stealth build? You let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you feel that's a good idea or not. So ABCD says, my 5800X3D works well in Elden Ring, but there are a few moments where it struggles, such as DLC, last boss, huge hit attacks. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. It's like, do you notice any type of bottleneck when you see it? Like if you're watching it and do you use Rivet Tuner, is it? ABCD? To see like where the usage is being taken up, out of curiosity. If you do, let us know. Because you'll probably see, like when you see a bottleneck, you'll know right away. Because you're going to see high usage on your CPU when it's not really necessary. All the usage should really be in the GPU and that's it. That's where everything should be. I will send it to you on Discord, and I'll send you over the links. Right after the stream, I'll send it over to you. Have you seen PC Hardware Discord channel? Let me go to it, actually, right now. That's where I was, actually. Oh, I will reuse my RAM hard drive. I just see Alex's right now. RAM hard drive 440. I like the minimal case. What's up, Chris? There you go. What's up, Tahaz? I'll send it over to you soon, buddy. Yeah, as soon as I get this, I'll close up the stream, which is, I'll end up closing up in about like 10 minutes or so. But it's capped at 60. FPS goes all the way down to 60. It's only for a few seconds. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. That you'll know again, like you'll notice a bottleneck when you notice it, just like ABCD does. Like when you are playing a game, you'll notice it because it'll just like slow down. It'll almost look like some sort of lag, and that's usually going to be from high usage again from either CPU or that the hardware doesn't have the capability. Like even if you don't have enough VRAM, you'll notice it too. Something with what do with crazy amount of particles on the screen. Oh really? Oh wow. We go back onto the and so I will okay. Okay, so you're going all black. So with this again, I highly recommend getting some airflow. Again, you could get the case, but again, I highly recommend something that isn't so solid in the front, which I will show everyone. Like when it comes to, oh, wrong side. But if I go over here to like what he's talking about here, he is going to go with a stealth build. But the thing is, when it comes to a case like this, I highly recommend getting some airflow. It doesn't have to be a glass in the front or anything like that. Just get something that is mesh, and that will be a lot better. So was stressed about the whole PC thing, but learned that about many things now. Thank you. No problem at all. It's again, it's PC is like a learning process. Everybody was there at one point. We were all there trying to learn how to build a PC. But over time, you get used to it, and once you put it together, you're gonna realize like, oh, this is really nothing. And don't be scared to build your PC, as I tell everyone. And if anyone's scared, I perfectly understand. Again, that's why we also build PCs here at Chris Mizo, and we do Mizo mods, which is on our website, which is at chrismizo.com. If you are looking to purchase a PC, feel free to check it out. Let me know you were in the live, and I will do my best to give you a good discount on it. And also, just let me know you were in the live. That's all you got to do. And make sure to check out those Amazon deals, I got to say, too, for the most part. And if you have any questions, don't be shy or be scared to ask anything. Again, everybody has to start somewhere when it comes to building PCs or starting to learn how to build PCs. And I'll do my best. And everybody here that is a PC enthusiast will also feel free to speak their mind on what they think of whatever parts that you do get. The only things you just really have to watch for is what the manufacturers produce. Like as we all know, ASRock is questionable when it comes to their boards with AM5. When it comes to Nvidia, currently this year has kind of been rough, but again, they still work. It's just not. They need to improve, especially that it's already 6 months through the year, almost 6 months through the year, and Nvidia is still not having the correct drivers out there. That's my only beef with them. I highly suggest anybody that's thinking about going to AMD, definitely try it. The RX 9070 has been great. There's actually going to be seven different variants when it comes to the RX 9060. When it comes to Sapphire, in fact, they're going to have the Nitro and the Nitro Plus. They're going to have quite the few, but that's definitely something to check out. Which, let me show you. In fact, it's pretty dope actually. Sound like a kid excited for something like this, but it looks amazing right here. Now, this is on videocards.com if anyone's curious where I'm seeing this at. But this is the card that I have in the 9070 XT version. They will be coming out with a 9060 variant, which is going to be awesome for anybody that is thinking of doing so. Also, they have the Pure and the Sapphire Pulse. that is coming out. They also have all white. They also have kind of this gunmetal color, which looks really nice too. And they also have the pulse right here, which is all black, which is also a very nice look. Now, this is something I highly recommend, Tahas, like if you're thinking of going AMD, and it's not expensive at all compared to NVIDIA. But of course, if you want to get NVIDIA, I get it too. NVIDIA is good when it comes to ray tracing. That's a good advantage of it. But I gotta say, AMD has definitely stepped up a lot when it comes to the ray tracing too. They're like about, I'd say, like if you were comparing it to NVIDIA cards, when it comes to AMD, right now they're at the same level as the 40 series when it comes to their ray tracing. Now, when it comes to path tracing, it's not going to be as good. That's going to be more at the 30 series level. So, but what CPU would be good with the 9060? Actually, a lot of CPUs would. Now, the funny thing is, the 9060 still, excuse me, the 9060 still recommends using PCI Express 5. So you want to at least be at Intel side, just say. Intel side, anything from the 12th generation up. Now, when it comes to AM5, anything in AM5. So from anything that's AMD, AMD 7000 series, 8000 series, 9000 series, and so on. So those type of CPUs will work well with this GPU. Anything under it, and it'll still work. It'll still work well. You just won't have the full capability. You might be limited by like say 5 or 10% if you're in like say AM4, or if you're on anything under the 12th gen when it comes to Intel. So any type of CPU besides that would be good. Don't use anything that's like too much of a multi-process. Wouldn't make sense for a 9060. So what about the 6600 XT or the 6800 XT? They're great cards too. 6600 XT and the 6800 XT are great options as well. Again, if you choose to go that route, I'd say for the pricing, my question is more the pricing. I would imagine they're probably a little bit unreasonable unless they're trying to offload them. But let me just take a look, and I will definitely help you answer. 6800. That's the biggest factor when it comes to it. It's not the card itself, but the pricing. Okay, so the 6800 XT, I feel it's a bit unreasonable right now for this card. It's currently 16 gigabytes, right? G6 it's on RDNA 2 for $1,000. That's no. Yeah, not for that. This one makes a little bit more sense, which is not even gigabytes. Peladon, whatever this brand is. Oh, I guess it's made from Ace Rock. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here, guys. But it's this one right here. And this one is $469. But again, I would just say go for the newer card. Go for the 9060 XT instead. Now, it runs on a 256-bit bus. That's one advantage. The CUDA cores are not bad as well. It's going to be, that's actually more compared to the 9060. The 9060 runs at 2048, I think it was, or something like that. It's around that range. It's a little bit over 2000. But I would still, again, I'd still recommend the newer one because it will do really well, especially with the optimizations with our DNA 4 is what makes the big difference. That, and also you have FSR 4. You also have AFMF 2, which is also going to be. How much is the 9060? I'll show you exactly. I wonder if they even have it. The shares came up. All right, let me try to type it again. It should be around the $300 range, a little bit over $300. And they're not showing it yet. but it's going to be a little bit over 300. The AMD 9060 XT, that will be around $350, a little bit more. So you definitely have the budget. Like after doing that build that we did, you'll have $450 to spend on it. I mean, $350 to spend up to a GPU. If you could spend a little bit more, you can certainly get a, you can definitely get a 9060 XT, or you can choose to go get a 5060. If you want to spend just a little bit more, you can go 9070, and or you can go 5070, RTX 5070. So it's completely up to you on your choosing. It depends on how fast you want to build your PC as well, because all these cards, the 9060, will be released in June 5th. Now the other cards, they're all released. The 9070 is released already. The 5070 has been released this year. So, yep, exactly. I figured that'd be perfect for you to Oz. So the good thing is you can definitely do a PC build, and it's still really cheap. So isn't it crazy though when you think about it? Because if you think about a PS5 Pro, right, you're going to spend just as much as your PC build, right? And that pretty soon PS5 Pro is going to be invalid now. It's going to get to the point where PS6 is going to come out soon, which will more than likely be released in, what's it, 25 now? PS5 got released in 2019. So I wouldn't be surprised if PS6 gets released between late 26 or by 27. So Brett says 9800 X3D with RTX 5080. What are your thoughts? Excellent build. They're both great cards. That's a great combination, actually. So I'd say that is the perfect gamer's build for anyone out there that wants to just have the best card and the best processor. I would say it would have to be the 9800 X3D and the RTX 5080. That is a good choice. Same when it comes to the RX 9070 XT. Great choice with the 9800 X3D. RTX 5090, not so much. And the reason why, it's just way off balance there. It's the pricing that really kills it. And again, you're spending $3,000 on a card that doesn't work correctly. Again, I'm not biased against NVIDIA or anything like that either. So the fact that NVIDIA just really has to work on their software, it's been really pathetic, I gotta say, on that side. NVIDIA has to improve when it comes to their drivers, and this is really their own fault. They somehow destroyed their own software. Like, they were great just not even that long ago. They were great within, 7 months ago? No problems. But as soon as this NVIDIA app actually dropped, it seemed like there's issues after issues, and then plus driver issues, and now it seems like it doesn't even want to work properly. So that is my biggest thing with NVIDIA. But again, it's still a great combination. 9800 X3D plus a RTX 5080 are great together. Now, I gotta say, for everybody out there who isn't part of the Discord channel, make sure to feel free and join and ask any question that you would like. Would love to hear from everybody out there. Please post up your finished products. I will create those links soon, Tahaz, and I will send it over to you. And so that way it'll be a lot easier for you if you go shop for it. You can choose either list. Let me know what you go with, because I'm curious what you will go with as well. And I got to thank everybody who has joined in. I hope you found this stream very eventful and very useful. If you did, don't forget to like this stream. And thank you guys, everybody, for who joined in. And also, if you're not part of the channel, please subscribe, and also make sure you join the Discord, because I love hearing from you guys. Also, if you're interested in any of the Amazon PC deals, make sure you check out the video. There's a lot of great deals going on. And thanks again, everybody, for joining. I will definitely be streaming sometime later. As soon as I do, once I get a time figured out, I will definitely Discord it to everybody out there. We'll play some Monster Hunter's Wilds, and we'll go Doom the Dark Ages. And we can both try it on the 9070 XT, and we can also play on the RTX 5090. So Looking forward to seeing you there if you choose to join. And also, thank you guys again for joining. Thanks so much and take care, everybody.